Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khatmil mursaleen. My viewers, today I am very happy to have a very special guest with me. We'll talk to him his journey to Islam and very important questions. Why he became Muslim, how he feels now as a Muslim, and how he has relations with his relatives, friends, and we'll also talk about Islamophobia problem and even Quran burning and some integration issues. And we would like to know how he feels as a Muslim in this Swedish society. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Very warm welcome. And I am very happy and thankful to you for your time for this very important interview. First, please let me, was you grown up in Stockholm?
Yes, I'm not grown up in Sweden. I born in Japan, 1970, in a little bit outside Tokyo. And I grew up there as a child to a missionary. So my parents, they were missionary in Japan.
Your father was missionary?
Yeah, my father and mother, they were both missionary.
Both were working for Swedish church?
Yes, but not that we call the state church in Sweden. That it was a free church.
Free church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it was not a church. It was a you can think it was a more broad mission organization. It calls East Asia Christian organization.
Okay, so you was your childhood was in Japan.
Yes.
How many years you?
I was born there, and I grew up most of the years there until I was 14 years. So
14 years.
Yes.
And then you came back to
Sweden. Then we came back to Sweden. Yes.
So in Japan, maybe you have the opportunity to learn the Japanese language too.
Yes, I can speak the language, but I was not raised in Japanese school. I was in a boarding school for a missionary child in Japan. So
it means when you came back to Sweden, it was about 1984.
84, yes.
Yeah, 84
yes.
You came to Sweden.
Yes.
And then you studied here in gymnasium school or what you did?
84 I was still in what you call the grundskolan.
Yes, basic school.
Basic school, yes. So.
And after that, after your studies at the grundskola, so what you did after that?
After that I went to in what we call in Sweden folkhögskola. I don't know how you translate it.
It's a folk university.
Yeah, folk university, you can say. I was spending only 1 year there, and then I started to work.
And still, when you came back with your parents from Japan to Sweden, your father and mother both continued their job at the free church.
Yeah, they were when they came back to Sweden. My mother, she as a young woman, she was already a nurse, so she did start with that work, and my father was actually a teacher, school teacher. So they start to work in that other kind of work
in Stockholm.
In Stockholm, yes.
And after your education, so started you to some sort of job or?
Yes, I started to work when I was quite young, and then after many years I started with some studies.
So,
yes.
But it's very interesting. So you was born in a religious Christian family.
Yeah.
Your parents were working for the church.
Yeah.
And they were even going to preach to other people.
And they spread their religion in another country.
At that time, you also got the chance to read about Christianity and the teachings of Bibles.
For me, like many people, like for you, example, maybe people who are watching this, they grown up in a religious culture and tradition, so they like me, they never reflect about. It's a normal thing for them. Even for me, maybe it's someone is listening. For me, it's some extreme situation to grow up in another country and what kind of isolated world with the boarding school and with the other child, the other children there. They were also grown up as a missionary child. So, but in our mind, this was our normal,
so
culture.
it was a normal routine. You go to the church and you go to the religious congregations, and your father and mother talk about Christianity at home. It was a normal thing. What was the main turning point when you got interest in Islam?
You know, when I came to Sweden, I tried to find myself in this society. I was a teenager. It was a very fragile time in my life. So I started to think. I haven't reflected so much until that, but I started to reflect because I saw that it was another society outside the church. And I have never visited that before. I have never seen it before.
Did you met any Muslim before that?
No. It was 84. You know, it was not so many Muslims at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was interested about how is it with people who is outside this.
So means at that time you was not satisfied with the Christian religion.
I was curious because for me, I lived in a world with restrictions, but I saw like friends and other people. They were not living in this world with restrictions, and I was started thinking about why should I have restrictions in my life? Because I believe in God. So it was something that I start to feel that I must vad säger man, upptäcka. I must find out what is this. Maybe I'm not free.
It means you was going to compare with the religious Christians and non-religious Christians. So some people, they were free, they go every year.
And even people, they said that.
And you was bound, your parents told you should not do this because you are a religious Christian.
Even if they were very kind, they were not forcing me. They were not so harsh or hard people, but we all lived in this.
Exactly.
And I was also fascinated because I met people, and they said that I'm not believing God, and they looked so happy, you know. And
they were enjoying life.
Yeah. So how does it matter if I believe in God or not? Because I saw people, they were happy, they were rich, they looked more healthy, they looked more happy than I was, and I was born like, this is the right way. You must believe in God. You must do this. You can't do this. So I start step by step, go, and you can say search for freedom, because I thought, somewhere there is a freedom. You can be free as a human. So that I start my progress.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. And I start to, I get older. My parents, they couldn't hold me back anymore because I was like 17, 18, and that age, no parent can hold. Even if they are hard, they can't. So I stop step by step, go out in the world, you can say in the world or in the dunya. And I start looking for freedom. And I did all the things my nafs want to do. I haven't done before. And if I felt many times, no, this is not good, but I did this because I thought that this is just a manipulation from my born, so I put away these feelings even if I felt it was bad.
So it means you are doing everything at that age of teenager or youth. They are going to for the dance clubs and each and every.
Yeah. So but I mean, I was not. I was not. I had a moral, of course. I had some moral ethics, but even that, I was really forced me to do things, even if I felt that it was, it was not.
Yeah. So these things was the main which they took towards to the Islam.
Yeah, it was the first step, because like many times in your life, God lets you do bad things. It can look like you are going astray, but it's your way,
Yeah.
So even my thoughts about my religion, that also I was try to wash out, from my mind, and but I really couldn't take away my in my mind. I couldn't take away my belief in God, but I really tried to hide my belief in God. And this place we are in now, the Masjid Aisha, it's very good. For me, it's very fascinating and very good example of my you can say my 3 steps in my life, because before this masjid was built, it was a church here.
This Aisha Mosque in
Aisha
Stockholm.
Mosque,
This was church before.
It was a church, and after the church it was a nightclub, and after nightclub it was Masjid Aisha. And this is shaking me really, because in the 18th, I don't know exactly, but maybe 87, I think 86, 87, this place was called Birka Church, Birka kyrkan, and because this area called Birkastan. And I had a friend in the church, in the other church, but my friend, his father was a pastor here, like a priest. So I was visiting this church many times. And then I come to, this step freedom, this freedom, what can you say?
In the search of freedom?
Yeah, in the search of freedom, I left the church, like I said. And in the end of 80s or in the start of 19th, it was a nightclub here. And in that time, I was going for many nightclubs. So one night, one friend told me about a new nightclub. It was what we call black club. So it was not open, but it's what. So one person took me here and said, oh, "Wow, this was a church before."
Okay.
Wow, and now it's a nightclub. Interesting. So I was here, and I was here maybe 2 or 3 times. And then I didn't think about this place anymore, and then many things happened in my life. We moved also. I met one lady. I still with her. We married then. But
your wife?
My wife. Yeah. I met her like 95. And then we moved to Göteborg, because she's from Göteborg, and she has at that time her grandmother was living outside in Göteborg.
In Gothenburg.
In Gothenburg, yes. And she was around 90 years old, and she was living alone in a house. So we decided we moved to her, and we live with her.
And your wife, she's also Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish, yes. So we went to Göteborg, and we start to live there with her grandmother. And that at that time I was very much I start to, start to feel that my life was not so easy.
But meanwhile, your parents were in Stockholm.
Yeah.
But you was not satisfied with the Christian religion. Did you talk sometime to your father or mother, or you need some freedom or some?
I think the answer will come soon.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that time I was my search for freedom, or what you call it. It was not so. I couldn't feel it so easy anymore. So I start to feel like the life was hard, and I feel like kind of depression or something. Or I was also, my search for freedom also made me like kind of a prisoner in many things, like for alcohol and for some other drugs.
You started to use the alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, it was in the time, for my in my search.
You were thinking that maybe if you will start to drink this alcohol, then there will be some satisfaction or freedom.
Of course, yeah. So it was one thing, and it was other things also. And also it was not that, it was not many, it was not even just material thing. It was also a way of thinking that captured me. I was not free in my mind anymore. And one day we lived outside Göteborg, and it was quite it was not so easy to go into town. It took maybe 1 hour with a bus, and to the bus you need to walk a long step. And one night I hadn't any alcohol at home, and I felt that I need this. I need to go to town, to buy some new, because I was addict. I need it, because if I don't took it, my feeling was depressing me. So. And then I realized that I'm not free. I'm not free anymore. Even this thing with alcohol, it's I'm a slave now.
Yeah.
To another thing. I'm totally a slave to everything I'm doing.
You don't have command to yourself.
Yeah. And I also, this slavery also, it's a slavery to hide me for something else. Mm-hmm. So I felt that now I need to stop drinking. It was the first step. I stopped drinking because before that I had some conversation with my wife that maybe I can arrange that so I can drink 3 or 5 beer every day, and like a system, Yeah. But I really soon realized that this is stupid,
What was you doing for the job purpose at that time?
At that time we were because we lived there with her grandmother, and we were not. I had some maybe very easy job, 3-4 hours every day. So
you was living in a joint family, so there was not so many expenses.
No. But I also get a letter that I don't know in the English, but we call it repmånad. Yeah, you have your military education,
training,
and you need to, after some year, need to go back to re.
So a repetition for the 1 month.
Yeah. So 1 month I get, and it was a command, So I went there, and when I went there, I thought, okay, this time I don't know where this thought come from, but I thought, I need to read something in this month, and I also try to took something with me, on this month, but I couldn't. It was not a good thing, but I couldn't find it. So okay, but I took this Swedish Quran with me.
Swedish translation of Quran.
Yeah.
By Muhammad Knud?
No, it was before that, because Muhammad Knud's translation came later. So this was 1998.
The 1 month military service, you thought I should read some literature.
No, I read this. And in the end of the month, I felt that, I mean, I couldn't say anything. I mean, I couldn't, how do you say?
You was fully inspired?
Yeah, I tried to say it in Swedish, and then you can maybe... Du vet, jag hade ingenting att sätta emot. Jag var som att jag ger upp.
The satisfaction you was going to in search, that you found after the reading of the Holy Quran.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I prayed to God in my, I mean, not like this, or in my heart, or what you say. I pray to God that if this is something, if this is you can say hidayat from you, please
give it to me.
Take me there. Take me there. And
okay.
And when I read it, I mean, it was not like we in the Christian church we say hallelujah. It was not a hallelujah. It was quite hard for me because I realized that this is true. The message is true.
The message is true.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I understood that. Of course, many things in the Quran I can't understand, but I see the message is true, 100%. So it was nothing I couldn't. I was sometimes when I read, I was like begging, like, please let me find something so I can, something motsägelsefullt.
Yeah, but in that month you read the whole translation of the Holy Quran, and you was much inspired. But maybe there are some points you could not understand, and was you confused with those things?
Of course, yeah. But after that, I realized that this is nothing I can just put away. So
you surrendered, and Islam means you surrendered.
Yeah, I'm not said Shahada at that time, but it was something that grabbed me. That I felt that this is nothing I can just go away with. So, and I felt that. Also interesting, the God I was talking to, it was the same God as it was when I was grown up. Yeah. The same God. I was 100% know that this is the same God. It's not it's the same God that I have tried to hide, all these years.
But before reading the Holy Quran, did you had the chance to read the Bible also?
Yeah, of course, I'm grown up with the Bible.
And you read also the Bible?
Of course.
But there was not as much inspiration as you got after the reading of the Quran.
I mean, many things was the same message, And the Jesus, alayhi salam, was, of course, I mean, later I realized that Jesus for me, Jesus is Jesus is a person, is a messenger to let me find the prophet who came after him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah.
The teachings of Jesus Christ is a way to Islam.
Yeah, it was so clear for me. It was so clear because I had Jesus in my heart, of course, and I have never took away Jesus. After
reading the Holy Quran and after getting inspiration, what was the next step?
Yeah, next step was that I don't remember also the exact what year, but it was the end of the 19. So and I have the stop. I never start drink again. I mean, after that I felt that
you stopped drinking.
I stopped drinking. So and it was also so fascinating for me to see that if you stop drinking, many things change. Like
exactly,
like who is your friend?
yeah.
What are you doing with your friends? Maybe most of your friends are the best friends are the friends who drink with you. Now when you stop drink, where are your friends?
So you miss the company of many people?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And what was their reaction?
Yeah, some of them were just, they were very surprised and shocked, and some of them just said, yeah, good luck, or, it was different kind of reactions.
Yeah. So. Okay, so then I started.
After that, I was, also the internet was very new at that. It was 98, 99.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for us, it was still.
Yeah, 97, 98. It was even in Sweden. The internet was the beginning time.
Yeah. So I was start to try to in my own room start to figure out things. On internet and in books, and I was doing it secretly, you can say, because I was not talking with
family. Should not know. Even your wife.
No, even my wife. But she realized that I changed so much because I stopped drinking. So, and I also it's another story, but it's important for me to just put it in. For many years before this, I had a friend he was from Algeria, and he was not. He was may Allah lead him and forgive him and give him hidayah and everything. But he was not a serious guy, But we were friends.
Means not practicing Muslim.
He was not practicing, and he has also some friends, and I was hanging with them because I liked them, but it was not because they were Muslim or they were serious.
It was just friendship.
It was friendship, and it was even we did many unserious things, And for me, it was nice because they were from another culture, and I felt relaxed with that because for me, I also grew up in another. So I have this special feeling with people from other cultures. But in a short period, he was like this. He changed, and he started practicing Islam. It was maybe a period for 2 months. And then he turned back again, to the old life. Okay. But in this short period, he was very serious, and he was very, how do you say? You can say fanatic, because it was
very strict
and very fanatic, and he was also making dawah, on every people he met.
Going to preach other people.
Yeah, and it was not in the very sensitive and very nice way. It was very with the pamphlet, with the pamphlet way, And it was also like he was. It was like he had been to a short course with Ahmadiyya. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So he had all the argument like pop, like this, So we were lived together at that time.
But those arguments are his way worked.
Yeah, because he was he knew that I was like allergic of this kind of
activities.
Yeah. So he was very sensitive with me because we were living together. We share apartment, But he invited other people to our home, like Christian people. So they were sitting in the kitchen, and they were have this debate, And I was like, oof, I couldn't listen, but I heard some things, And I heard some argument that he said to a Christian guy, and this Christian guy was like, he couldn't say anything, because of this argument. And of course I was irritated, and I couldn't. But some way this argument was also
Stuck in your mind.
in my mind. So at that time, even this argument, even if I didn't like this method, but this argument is argument. The truth is the truth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing was also stuck in my mind. So it helped me, you know. And then when one night it was like in the end of '99, I said to maybe it was in July, August, I don't know. I said I have decided myself that I will be Muslim. I'm going to be Muslim.
So mainly two things. After reading the Holy Quran, and you was then secondly to heard some arguments from your friend.
Yeah.
Then you decided
Yeah.
to accept the Islam.
Yeah.
So how many years it took?
Yeah, it was not so many years. Maybe 2 years.
2 years.
I think around 2 years. I'm not 100% sure, but around 2 years. And I think it was, if I don't remember wrong, I think it was in September year 2000. Because it was the year jag fyllde år. My birthday.
You was born. Yeah.
I was born in September, so it was my 30 birthday.
At your 30th birthday,
30th birthday.
you decided
Yeah.
to become a Muslim.
Yeah, and then I was in Göteborg. I had no contact with Muslim people in Göteborg, but I had I have this old friend, like I told you before. I have this guy. I know that he was not practicing at that time.
Again, he was changed.
Yeah, and he was still he was living in Stockholm at that time. But I had one. Before I moved to Göteborg, I worked in a restaurant. I worked in 2 Bangladeshi restaurants, and I met one guy there. He was, and I knew that he was practicing Muslim, but he was not pushing me with things. I just knew that. So I called him and said, and his name is Ruel. I said, Ruel, you know, I have decided to be a Muslim.
What was his reaction?
He was like, wow, subhanAllah. Like, he was so happy. Yeah. And I also called the other guy I told you before.
Algerian?
Yeah, Algerian man. And I said, I am coming to Stockholm. I want you to show me the mosque in Stockholm. And he said, yes, okay, take a shower before we met, because it was Friday. So take a shower before you meet me. I said, okay, I went to Central Station in Stockholm. I go to a place, you know, you can pay, took a shower there. And I met him, and he took me to a mosque.
This is
Stockholm Mosque.
The central mosque.
Yeah, central mosque. And he took me there, and he was said salam to a brother there, and he told me that, can you help this man? He decided to be Muslim. Can you help me? Yes, he said, and he also said, are you not coming? No, I'm not coming.
So your Algerian friend did not?
No, he was not coming.
Accompanied you.
Yeah. So that's why I say I also, if you will send this, I please all the people who watch this, please make dua for this
person.
man. Yes.
May Allah bless him the
Yes.
right path.
Yes.
Yeah, inshallah.
So he let me in, and a very nice man, helped me there in the mosque. He showed me how to make wudu, and I just follow him all the way. It was, for me, it was like I can't remember now what happened. It was like a dream, you know. It was like I coming into a new
It was a Friday prayer time.
Yeah, and
thousands of people were there in the
yeah.
Stockholm mosque.
Yeah, and I can't even remember what happened. I was there. It was like another atmosphere, you know.
And then after this Shahada,
yeah,
people used to come.
Yeah,
to
of
and
course.
say,
It was Friday prayer, so it was
congratulations.
hundreds of people there. So after everything finished, this man took me to the Imam, and Imam said, this man will say Shahada, and I said Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And then people, maybe I don't know how many, maybe hundreds of people, they were lining up.
So then it was then from Hans Vikström you became Hassan Vikström.
Yeah.
So Hans to Hassan.
But this story about Hassan, it's another story.
It's another story.
It's another story, yes.
Maybe we can take this the next time, because
sure.
there are many things we want to discuss with you.
Because for me, actually, okay, you cannot find anything bigger than said Shahada, but the story about who gave me the name and how I get this name Hassan, it's maybe even more fantastic story.
So there are many things to discuss. For example, Islamophobia in Swedish society, Quran burning, integration.
Yeah. You know, for Quran burning, the integration, Islamophobia, that's, you know, okay, it's a serious issue and things very important to discuss. But for me, it's the boring thing.
But when you become the Muslim, what was the reaction of your immediate family, your father, your wife, and mother and friends?
Yeah. I will just some second will end this story in the mosque, because I said the Shahada and it was lined up people, maybe hundreds of brothers, many people, they go back to work, but maybe 100 people, 7,500 people, they line up and they hug me, you know. I mean, I don't know if you can imagine, because you're born.
Exactly.
I mean,
yes.
But or people who watch this can imagine how it feels.
But it's a great difference. We are born as Muslim, but you become a Muslim by conviction, and which is the exact meaning of Iman.
And you have this line with hundreds of brothers who are hugging you. I mean, it's amazing. And the last guy who was hugging me and welcomed me, he said, you just need to keep two things in your mind. It's to have sabr and to be thankful.
Mashallah.
Yes. And these two things, I still have this, I mean, as a reminding for me all the time.
There definitely after that there will be a very different situation for you with your parents, with your wife, with your friends and Swedish culture. And we'll discuss all these things in the next episode. I'm very much thankful to you,
thank you.
For this, the first part. And the second part, as I told, will continue after this journey, what happened and how do you feel now, and what are the right now the challenges in this Swedish society. I hope the viewers will like it, and I am very thankful to you for watching this very important interview. And I will also request you, please write your comments and wait for the next episode. And for those who has not subscribed, if they will subscribe, so they will know when we will upload the next interview. I have to present you my books. This book is for the children, the questions they have about Islam, and it has been translated in more than 18 languages, and it's in Swedish. And there's a second book is in English. Soon there will be also Swedish translation. So both books will go with you. So thank you very much for watching, and please wait for the second episode.
Okay, thank you.